Day 8. 8 maids a milking. So now you've got 8 milkmaids on your front lawn, along with the cows, because they've got to be milking, to have a cow to be milking. Or maybe they're milking a goat, but there's 8 of them, and they're making a bit of a mess. What does this mean? Historically, it's been linked to the Beatitudes in Matthew, Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5. But just before we go there, let's just continue with our story of the Christ child, who is now growing up a little bit. So we're in Luke chapter 2 again, and we've got Jesus, who's now 12 years old, and he is at the temple expounding the scriptures with the spiritual leaders of the time. So he's 12 years old, and Jesus has been lost. Mary and Joseph have lost him. Can you imagine you've lost the Son of God? I guess that might have been a bit of a shock for Mary. She's got this one thing to do, is look after the Son of God until he matures, and she's lost him by the time he's 12. So they're on a journey going back home after they've been to Jerusalem to the feast of the Passover, and they looked for him for 3 days. They found him in the temple. This is Luke chapter 2, verse 46. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting amongst the teachers, listening to them and asking questions. All of whom heard him were amazed at the understanding and his answers. So these guys have been studying the scripture, studying the Torah. We've talked about that previously. And then they've got this 12-year-old boy who's probably not really going to Jewish school at the moment. Maybe he is, but he hasn't had his bar mitzvah at 13. That happened at 13, where in the Jewish custom they become a man. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. And his mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us so? Behold, your father and I have been searching for you in great distress." I'm not surprised. I think I would be if I'd lost the Son of God. And he said to them, "Why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" And they did not understand the saying that he spoke to them. And they went down, and then he went down with him with Nazareth and was submissive to them. And his mother treasured up all these things in her heart. So Jesus, even though he was the Son of God, submitted to his earthly parents, Mary and Joseph. And Mary is pondering all these things that are going on with his son. Jesus increased with wisdom and in stature and favour with God and man. So then we look at the Beatitudes. These are, we called it Sermon on the Mount. I've actually been to the church that's in Israel where they believe Jesus taught this message. Blessed, this is Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Excuse me. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the Son of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you, persecute you, and utter all kinds of evil against you. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So I remember as a new Christian, I was kind of a little puzzled with the Beatitudes, but there is much depth in that scripture. And one of the things I just want to throw out there and give you a little temptation is we have 8 Beatitudes or 8 blessings in Matthew that I've just read. And there's also 8 blessings in Revelation where John writes, blessed is, blessed is, blessed is. There's 8 of them. So your homework is to go and find them. The blesseds in Revelation. Day 8. 8 maids a milking. The Beatitudes.